Hello everyone. I welcome you all once again. Rituja Bakshi here from E Club of SJMSOM IIT Bombay. Today here we have with us Saumya Misra, who is the founder of Avataar Skincare Technologies. Prior to which, she's also had an experience as engagement leader at HNS, and she was also a manager for 5 years at Bain and Company. She's also a PGP student of IIM Bangalore. Had to mention that. So, uh, so Soumya, over to you. You tell us how the idea of Avatar came to you, how you started the company.
Right. First of all, Rituja, thanks for having me here. Always a great experience to talk to or interact with management students and first year MBAs. I'm pretty sure that you guys are still coping up with the grind because it's like really
Oh
tough.
my, we are definitely.
And congratulations for making it there. Avatar started because I've had as you mentioned, I've had half a decade of corporate experience, and I enjoyed a lot when we were in as a management consultant, working with different clients, solving different problems, and then at a certain point, it became too repetitive because there are only so many business problems that organizations have, and then in principle, the solutions to those also come on the similar way. So I was looking for something which is even more meaningful. And that's when the idea of entrepreneurship struck me. And then I was figuring out what is a big problem which is yet unsolved. And I stumbled upon skincare. I've also had my own challenges with my own face. So I used to have very severe acne. And especially during MBA time, I used to spend hours and hours on makeup to conceal acne, and then you would apply so much makeup that you start looking like a joker. Then I'll tone it down and I'll reapply. So I went through those struggles, and then after my internship with Bain, they gave me a heavy stipend check. So I decided to put all of that money into fixing my face, and that's how I started to visit a lot of these skin clinics. And that experience turned out to be not very pleasant because in B schools they teach you sales and they teach you management. So I was able to see through what was happening, that somebody was looking at your attire, or the handbag that you're carrying, or which phone or which credit card you have, and then the rates were being charged. So every time I would go to the same clinic, some different rate would be charged to me, and I realized that there is no standardization in terms of the kind of machinery or kind of devices that different clinics were using were also different, and everybody claimed that we are the best, and the client has no way to figure out what is the right treatment, what is the right cost, what's the right device. I ended up taking, and then I did not take any treatment from Bangalore because I was feeling fully cheated, and then I went to a dermatologist in Bhopal, where I come from, and then she did a laser treatment, and my skin completely got healed. And it took me 3 months to completely come out of the struggle that I've been going through for years. So that's when I realized that the treatments are really effective, but those are not accessible because either people are not aware, or the way they are offered to the customers is not very good, and they are very expensive. So I started to explore this space even more, and then till then we had shifted to Delhi, and Delhi's got 3,000 skin clinics. So I visited a lot of them, and then figured out what the challenges are, and then that's how the idea of Avatar was born. And one of the major challenges were that it's really inconvenient to go to the clinic and wait. So we try to figure out how do we ensure that we come up with a model which can basically break all the barriers, and at the same time make it very convenient for the clients. And then a lot of work went into it, and then we could come up with a model where skin clinic could travel to home versus client traveling to the clinics.
Right. So that's a very inspiring story, and also especially because it relates to you personally on a personal level to this extent. So I'll ask you one thing. So every time we've interacted with people who has founded a company, who's built a company from scratch, the one question that always comes to our mind is, when do you know that this is the idea you want to chase? This is the company you want to build? And one standard answer we've always gotten is, you're ready when you're ready to go all in for a particular idea, for a particular, concept. So how has that been for you? When did you know that this was it? And when did you, I mean, from the, I would say, safety of corporate structure of, working under somebody,
Yeah.
having a standard paycheck, to this, going all in? How was that?
So it was not easy, and I think I took almost a year, to take the plunge. I think a few things that one should do is that. So I come from a, like all of you come from a bit, MBA kind of background. So one is I did the numbers very well. That what's the worst that can happen if you start a company like this? What's the best that can happen? Assuming that
Right.
you will land somewhere in between, but one should always be ready for the worst. So in my case, I did the maths very well, and then one major insight that I got was that the market is on such a high upward trajectory and is so underpenetrated. So this business will never be operationally loss making. Even at a small scale, it
Mhm.
can generate what should I say, wealth, which will be way significantly more than my salary paycheck even in the short term. So that was one big driver, that the downside is very little. A second kind of and I growing up in a middle class family, and coming from Bhopal, we always have a tendency to save for the rainy day, right? So
Right.
I did all of that. So I ended like I exited my organizations on a very good note. So I knew that if this doesn't work out, I always have a door open to go back to. The
Mhm.
third thing that I did was I secured my finances very well. So I have a 5-year-old daughter. Of course, my husband is earning, and but as an independent woman, also, that if I have nothing, suppose the startup doesn't
Mhm.
come out the way I'm. Do I have enough to go on, for 5 to 6 years as a runway that can sustain me, my daughter, and if required, my parents also. So I did all of that, and that's how it took about a year, and then decided to take the plunge.
That's amazing. Saumya, how has your experience in a corporate been versus your experience as a founder, somebody who's taken full control of a company? Like, how is the ownership versus the, job part of it? How is it?
It's very different. There are good parts to both the aspects. There are bad parts to both aspects. But I think the highs of being an entrepreneur are way higher than anything else, because
Mhm.
it's like nothing existed and you created something, and month on month, when you see it growing in across any metrics, revenue, number of customers, number of employees, number of reviews. So the kind of adrenaline rush that you get being an entrepreneur is, I think the only time a feeling came close to that was when I became a mom. So that feeling
Yeah.
is as good as that. And but at the same time, the lows are also way lower than what you would face in a corporate career. So
Right.
the lows in a corporate career is, oh, I worked so hard, I did not get promoted, or I had a bad day, my boss did not recognize my work, or there's some politics happening, which is I'm
Mhm.
not getting the credit. The lows in entrepreneurship are like way more meaningful. I don't have the money to go on. What if I don't have enough runway? This company can shut at any time, or there's so many employees who are whose households are running because of this company, or you had invested a lot of resources behind a marketing campaign, or behind an employee, and it turned out to be a total disaster. Or the choices that you made, could be anything, GTM choices, product choices,
Mhm.
price strategy choices, and they completely failed, and everything has gone topsy turvy after that. So I would still recommend entrepreneurship to everybody. because of the kind of learnings that it gets, but it is also at the same time very stressful. So, the resilience as a quality, and, the confidence and the passion that you have behind an idea and behind your venture becomes extremely important than anything else to build a company. Capital follows, employees will follow, customers will follow. But if that confidence and passion and that resilience is not there, then it becomes very difficult to sail the boat.
It definitely is. I can only imagine the kind of highs and lows that the entrepreneurial journey brings, and it I don't think can compare even remotely close to any other job that's out there once you take up the ownership. So, Saumya, tell us how it has been to, be the boss in a male-dominated world, to be the a woman entrepreneur in a male-dominated world. How has that feeling been?
So within Avataar, it's not that difficult because we are a women dominated company. A lot of women entrepreneurs also have challenges when male employees are reporting into with them.
Mm-hmm.
So that at least I have not faced, but I think in when it comes to fundraising or when it comes to hiring very senior employees, I think the women face more challenges than men, and
Right.
up at all. A lot of times, our aggression is misunderstood or our passion is misunderstood. An example of it came in Shark Tank. I think I do feel, I don't know, some people might have an alternate opinion that I was bashed too much because I feel some part of my gender had a role to play. The passion is or aggression is misunderstood as lack of humility because people expect women to behave in a certain way.
Right.
So so that is there. Then the third thing is there's a taboo against women that we think from the heart, and we are not extremely business minded, and sometimes we might take calls which are easier on people but tougher on the business. We might prioritize what should I say, softer skills over just core money, which is also a bias. There's no data that proves it, but that's what some of the investors think. So the fourth thing that we struggle with is, and this has come up in a lot of conversations that I've had with VCs, that solo women founder are not able to find co-founders unless it's their spouses, or women have other challenges back at home also, right? Like they have kids to raise, and they are the primary caregiver. So their ambition might stagnate at some point in time. So somebody told me that we are very confident that you can make it 1,000 crore business, but we don't know if you will if you'll stay ambitious enough to make it even bigger. So those are and that's why I think a lot of work is being done, and there's a lot of talks that are happening about how we increase the participation of women in entrepreneurship, ensure that they get fair share of capital that is available. But I think we have a long way to go globally. I'm just not talking about India. I think it's probably quite global.
Just to establish this notion that women can, be better, if not like definitely equal, but definitely better CEOs and better founders than we bring to the table. More diversity, more viewpoints, more, and also the significance, as you said, the significance of softer side of things. It's not necessarily a bad thing, right? To care for your employees, to care for your company as a child.
Exactly.
So that women's touch is extremely important, and the world won't be running the way it is without it, right?
Yeah.
So one last question from my side, Saumya. One message to women like us who are aspiring to be where you are right now.
I would say, a lot of people, we have more, what should I say, questions that we ask ourselves that, people of your age, of course, you all are thinking about your careers, but at the same time, you're thinking about who are we going to get married to, and, do we want to have kids or not, and when are we going to have kids, and then this biological clock, and, there's a lot of stuff that women take more seriously than
And
just
there's a timeline as well attached to it. There's a very strict timeline.
exactly.
That you have to get this done by
It gets
then.
imposed on us, or we impose on ourselves. What I would say is that I won't take it from you that oh, stop thinking about this, because I think everything else is also important. But take the decision independently. Once you've taken the decision, I think women also have the superpower to build everything around it also. So
Right.
it is not true that women can't have it all. It is possible to have a successful career, having a very healthy and great family life, and having kids, because men do it all the time, right? So we can also figure it out, just that we need to find our own support system. It's slightly tougher for women to find the support system.
Right.
Men always have their wives who are always ready to support them. But just don't I wouldn't say that don't align keep your career and everything else as two different buckets. Don't try to merge them. One day they will merge, and they'll merge beautifully. You'll figure it out yourself. And I highly recommend entrepreneurship. They say that being a mother is a beautiful feeling. I do believe that having a startup is exact same feeling, and one should definitely try it once at least.
I would agree. I would completely agree. So thank you very much, Saumya. This was very, very insightful and would be very inspiring for all the viewers who would be watching this. Thank you for your time. And with that, we'll end the session.
Sure. Thank you.